It's the Off-Grid Prep Family Podcast.
Good evening, everyone. It's the Off-Grid Prep Family Podcast.
Podcast.
It's the podcast.
It's
I tried to go like all Wolf Blitzer on it.
The first time you heard the word vlog, you're like, what? What? What are you trying to say?
Anyways, we have something important to talk about tonight.
It is.
This is probably the most important thing that we focus on. It is.
It is, though.
So tonight, there was a podcast on Prepper 2.0.
I love that podcast.
They're fantastic.
It's my favorite.
They're intelligent
to every
people.
episode, sometimes twice.
Yeah, they're wonderful.
But
however, however.
You can't control who your guest is.
Yeah.
And
so
if
tonight,
you don't know what you're talking about, you trust that your guest does.
We have looked for ways to contact Prepper 2.0 because this was such a blatant disregard. Not unintentionally. They don't know.
Yeah.
Clearly, they don't know.
It wasn't a service to the prepping community.
It was a giant attack on the prepping community perpetrated by a slick commercial solar guy. We're going to call him Slick Solar Gear Greg.
Yeah, I don't remember what his actual name is, but
okay.
You know.
I thought it was Greg. Anyway, this guy that Prepper 2.0 had on their podcast literally said
it was hard to listen
that nobody could get off the grid comfortably without spending $250,000 to $300,000.
Like
that's like saying you can't own a car for less than $1 million. That is literally what that's saying.
We don't all need to drive a Lamborghini Aventador, and we don't all buy our solar gear from somebody who's going to mark it up 400%.
No, my wife came to me very angry, very upset, because we're fighting for a cause here, a very important cause.
I'm not trying to sell you stuff.
No, well, we're trying to sell T-shirts.
Nobody's going to buy our T-shirt.
No, nobody's going to buy our T-shirts.
But what we are doing, and what the whole prepping community is doing, is trying to help as many people as possible be prepared and self-reliant for when stuff hits the fan.
But you know what this is?
Having someone come on and say that it's not possible
for less than $250,000 to $300,000.
Sell you a grid-tied system that's going to do you zero good in a grid-down situation. It angers me.
Very much.
It's like saying you might as well not store food because you'll never store enough.
It's also,
what are you doing?
I come in, I realize I want to go off the grid, I accept that I'm going to have to make sacrifices, and you say, you know what, I want to start with a rowboat. That's all I want, that's all I need. If I need to upgrade, I'll build a bigger boat.
Eventually,
it's easy. And the guy comes in and says, you need a yacht. If you don't have a full-size mega yacht, you're done.
You might as well not bother.
So, Slick Solar Gear Greg, since the 1990s when we started in this,
all the solar industry has been like this.
It has been just so dark and so shady.
They go door to door. They sell over the phone.
Now they're debt financing.
Now they'll finance you with debt.
And they're trapping people with debt. Huge 25-year mortgages, leases on systems.
Grid-tied system.
So the whole industry is dark and dirty and disgusting.
And that's why people don't go off grid and don't get solar, is because of people like this, and it makes me super mad. Unfortunately,
let's take a quick break. We need to get back to this. Let's go.
Instead of taking a break, we're just going to say this episode is dedicated to the people who want to get off grid and have been listening to jerks like this for too long.
Yeah, you're darn right.
Okay.
This is dedicated to the listeners and the people who actually want to get off grid. It is easier than you think. It is more affordable than you think. And you know who backs this? Amazon.
Yeah.
Amazon, you will find Prime gear. Literally, Amazon Prime, next day shipping gear.
You find yourself a journeyman electrician. He'll get you up and running in less than a week.
There's a billion of them out there. It's done.
This is not rocket science.
No. It's
not as hard as it used to be, and it certainly isn't expensive as it used to be.
Yeah.
And we've been off grid for 16 years.
I hope this guy hears this and gets heartburn. That's what I hope he gets heartburn and a tummy ache.
And he'll roast us on Instagram because he probably has more followers than us.
I'm going to quote Mallory Archer, one of my favorite TV characters. I hope he vomits from anger.
I did when I heard this. Because it's like you're watching your favorite show and you hear your favorite character call you a lying sack of garbage.
Yep. Yeah,
that's what it was like to me. It wrecked my day. And you know what? Thursdays are my favorite day because there's always a new Prepping 2.0 episode.
That's right.
Literally.
Yeah. Prepping 2.0 I would love to meet you. I would love to show you, not sell you, show you what it's like. I am a retired engineer.
Yeah.
I have a vineyard. I'm actually embarking on a new side career. It has nothing to do with solar. I don't care about selling this stuff. What I care about is actually helping people get off the grid.
Just like helping people prep, because every single person that you help get prepared, that's one less person who's going to knock on your door when stuff comes up.
It's also another person who understands things. It's a peer. It's a friend. Somebody you can share things with.
Yeah.
Let's not say comrade. I feel like that's coming again.
Not the right
I feel like the McCarthy trials are on their way again, so we're not going to say
we're not
comrade.
gonna do that. Okay.
Anyway, moving forward. This guy sells grid-tied systems.
That's like going to the electric car store and asking them what they think of your Duramax diesel.
Yeah, it is.
This is not the same thing.
No.
And he is dedicated to financing grid-tied systems.
Once again,
Battery
anybody who
backup is
listens
not the same.
in the off-grid community, he is debt financing. Debt is the worst word on the planet if you want self-sufficiency.
Yeah.
There is nothing worse than debt.
Even if you're doing it with a second mortgage, that's still debt, man.
Yeah, it is. Anyway, this guy said, if you want enough... This is the quote. If you want enough battery backup to run your lights, your 65-inch TV... how big is ours? 50?
We have a
50-inch and a 32. Or 42 in our bedroom.
Yeah.
Run your internet. Charge your phone. We have 3 phones. Run freezers. We have 2 freezers. 2 true off-grid systems for a 25 square foot house.
No, he said 2,500 square foot house, as if that makes a difference.
We have a 3,000 square foot house.
It's 3160.
South of Denver. Yes, 3160. South of Denver. $250,000 to $300,000. That's, which is, and this is his quote.
He said that's.
It'll cost $250,000.
Impractical for 99% of people. That's the quote.
Yeah.
Number 1, lights use like no power.
LEDs are nothing.
TVs, that's nothing.
They're
Charging
LED
your
TVs.
Cell phones, are you
Cell phones are nothing.
Multiple fridges and freezers.
Heat pumps, which are the demon. Heat pumps are the new demon of the utility industry. They are compressors, people.
And what does the size of your house have to do with your electrical load? I know people who live in 1,500 square foot houses who use 3 times as much power as we do in our 3160 square foot house.
They have stock water heaters.
Constantly.
One stock water heater uses more power than I use all day.
So who cares about TVs and internet?
So what the guy's doing,
this is garbage.
What the guy's doing is he's spouting the same jargon that the industry's been spouting for years, and it's all crap. It might morph into some new twisted thing.
Yeah.
I was on a customer's, let's call it a...
We're not going to try and dox ourselves here.
No, I know. Let's call it a land upgrade.
Sure.
And they had received very large money from the government to put in a solar system. And I went to see it. I was actually trying to sell them a backup battery system. I was promoting. I went to see it. This was 15 years ago. And this grant that they received, they squandered violently. But what really got me was that the day I went to sell my battery backup system, the leader of this land situation...
That's vague enough.
Brought along his, I'm going to go and say a big air quotes here, consultant.
Okay.
The guy who actually put the system in. And it was like he was gray. You know when you talk to somebody and there's nobody home? Like there's nobody behind the eyes?
Okay.
He just talked. And I saw his work. It was the most abhorrent thing I'd ever seen. This little sea can full of electrical equipment.
They spent a lot of
government money. Spent a ton of government money, hard-earned taxpayer money, on nothing.
Yeah.
And at the time, I didn't know what was happening, and I felt compelled to tell the leader what had happened. And
as if he didn't know.
As if he didn't know. I didn't know.
And they laundered the money, and you were letting them know.
They laundered the taxpayers' money. This is what the solar industry is primarily about, and it's disgusting.
It's gross. So when we've done solar in the past, and this is 14, 16 years ago, this was as an electrical engineer doing industrial solar power.
Yep.
Mostly for
it's got to work or you're getting fired. That's easy. Like it can't be extravagant. It has to work.
This is like
there's a lot of calculations.
Sites in the middle of nowhere.
You're spotting the sun. You're checking out the terrain.
So that's how we started on solar, was as an industrial electrical engineer who had to make his systems make sense financially and make things work.
Yeah.
And that's different than the guy who goes door to door or cold calling selling you grid-tied financed solar.
Now,
And that makes me crazy, but I know
It does.
that most people don't know the difference, and that just makes me sad.
Now, cold calling is not a bad thing. I have recently been cold calling, which led
For
to
other
a new
things.
career. Which is funny, because I haven't cold called in years.
Yeah.
Cold calling is fine. You get religious people cold calling, you'll get sales people cold calling. It's not always a bad
Sometimes
thing.
it's something you need.
Sometimes it is something you
But
need.
the solar grid
solar
ties
industry
is
is
just so
it's
sketchy.
It's horrible.
And
it's
they
horrible.
all say the same things, and they all sound very, very confident.
Yeah,
And
they're all
so if
sunny.
you don't know what you're talking about, you're on the wrong side of that equation.
Yeah, you need to learn. You need to learn.
And that's, we call it information asymmetry.
It is. It sounds right, but it's
because
not.
you don't know what you're talking
Because-
about. And
yeah.
they talk fast, and they
They do.
sound confident.
And these guys don't know what they're talking about.
So if you're finding yourself in a relationship where you have information asymmetry, that is not the point where you buy that product.
Yeah. Which isn't, we're not really talking to people who are buying these products. We're talking to our listeners
Who now
have
think that it's impossible.
impossible.
And
It's
I
not.
mean, okay. There are a couple things from that episode that really made me almost want to cry. Number one.
Hold on. We're going to pause first really quick. Annie has something really important to say here, and we've talked about it. Our system, I'm going to say first, we have spent a total of about $12,000 on.
Mm-hmm.
That is including switching out inverters. We've gone through 2 battery systems.
That's including our backup inverter and our second battery
Okay.
system because we started out with a cheaper one.
So our $12,000, you know what? Let's throw $5,000 on for labor.
Sure.
I'm not charging my labor.
Sure.
Our $17,000 solar system easily powers our home off the grid. 9 people, 3,160 square feet, 2 freezers, a fridge, appliances,
Giant freezers.
big
2
TVs,
fridges,
cell phones, lights everywhere.
7 kids using electricity. all
Constantly
day long.
showers. We do it
Yeah.
365 days a year comfortably.
Thank you.
So
We're
Slick,
not liars.
Slick
So to have
Solar
someone-
Gear Greg, you are a liar.
to
You
have-
might not know.
To have someone come on a podcast
Yeah.
that is very well listened to and say, you never see these people living in that house in January.
We're here, jackass.
We're here in January. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for your vote of confidence.
It is. We don't
And
get
to say
negative.
that-
We don't get negative on the
No.
show. But this is, you know what? I'm
we
done.
didn't want to even... My
Oh.
husband didn't want
I
to
didn't. I
record
gave
this
a-
episode because we try to be positive.
We do.
But
This is garbage.
to
And
let this stuff go out there and just have people listen to it and believe it just really made me sad.
this is what we learned in our garden this year. You can't reason with pests. The
Yeah.
only way to reason with pests is smashing them or
Yeah.
poisoning them.
And the
Because
only
they
way
don't listen. They'll never listen.
to get rid of bad information,
Is to
as the
Fight
Republicans
it.
have learned for the last 8 years, you can't just take the high road
You can't.
and only play defense and never say anything bad about your opponent.
or the
and hope that
conservatives.
people
Yeah, the
will
conservatives in Canada. They just haven't said anything.
Yeah. Oh,
It's
people
garbage.
will know. They'll know that we. No, they don't.
People
if you
will
don't
know.
speak up,
No.
people don't know, and they don't know your story. And so here we are. This is possible. You
More.
don't have to spend $250,000. You freaking kidding me?
Yeah, 20,000 tops.
No. Let's
Annie
talk
has.
about
Yes.
the system that you would need.
Mm-hmm.
That Slick Solar Gear Greg would
Mm-hmm.
say would cost you $250,000 to $300,000.
Let's do this. So
What would you buy if you wanted to take a quote-unquote 2,500 square foot house? You know, a house with a dishwasher and a washing machine.
Oh right, I
normal
forgot to say
stuff.
we have a dishwasher and a washing machine.
Yeah. You cannot probably do an electric dryer without running your generator off grid.
But you can do it. You can do an air conditioner. It's just
We have an air conditioner.
it's about balance, people. It's about engineering.
Yeah.
Actual engineering. And if you want to take charge of your life, you need
have
to
be
learn these
smarter.
things.
It's just like any other thing that
Yeah.
you're doing in your PEPs, whether it's food storage or self-defense or anything else,
Baking.
if
anything.
you're not going to take the time to learn it, you're going to spend too much money, you're going to get swindled by people, or it's going to be all too much and you just won't bother to learn about it.
And
frankly, if you can't be bothered to learn about it properly, you don't deserve to survive anyways.
That's right. You don't deserve the freedom.
Yeah.
So if you're listening and you're passionate about this and you've hit that block where you think, oh, I just can't handle it. You know what?
Yeah.
Fail with the rest of them. We don't want you.
Yeah.
Moving forward.
What would you buy?
So the first
This
thing.
is all on our off-grid gear page.
Yeah.
If you want to see the links of the things on Amazon that are affordable and easy.
Yeah. So.
I have another ad space rumbling in my ear.
Yep. Let's do it.
Let's just say go to offgridprepfamily.com, pick something off the off-grid gear page, and just buy it so you're one step closer to your off-grid life.
Yep. It's really easy.
So you go to the off-grid gear page.
Look at the
you go
solar.
to the solar gear section.
Here's how it works. Step 1, batteries. Batteries are great. They
We
come
like
in
the
many
ones
forms.
that are currently in North America.
These are the 3 criteria that I do for batteries. A, is it affordable? Okay? And 2,
Obviously
no,
you're
I'm
doing-
just kidding.
Obviously, you're...
1, I was trying to fit the joke in.
Yeah, I
anyway,
got it.
okay, so step 1, lithium iron phosphate. Okay?
Obviously.
That's the only way to go. There are many lithium combinations, but lithium iron phosphate there are billions of cells just sitting in warehouses. If you see, there's like Big Battery Box and Tesla and a bunch of other companies, a bunch of really sketchy, not Tesla, sorry, a bunch of sketchy companies selling battery systems. All they do is take these lithium iron phosphate cells, put them in a fancy box, and mark them up 300%.
They put a plug on the side.
It's stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you need to go to Amazon.
Yeah.
You need to look up lithium iron phosphate or LIFE, LIFEPO phosphate, PO4, the number 4. LIFE PO4 cells. Then, we're going to build, today, we're going to build a 48 volt system.
Okay.
Okay?
This is gigantic.
Well, this is reasonable.
Like you're running your house.
So, what you need are 16 of these cells, these 3.2 volt cells, lined up in series. Right now, there's a company called NINTHCIT. They have, I don't know how many of these cells, but they've been going for all year in Vancouver.
Yeah.
I have learned from a Chinese supplier that I was trying to work with that China can, in fact, get cells out.
Yeah.
However, Vancouver Port Authority is stopping them all.
So if
And
they're
this
not
isn't just for Canada.
in,
This is for all of North America. They're
they're
coming to
not probably
Vancouver.
gonna get there.
So, NINTHCIT, this is the company, Ninthist, I don't know how to pronounce it.
So-
They have 2 or 3 different cells. There's 90 amp hour, 176 amp hour. I think they have a bigger one too. I pick, if you do the math, the dollar per amp hour, the best dollar per amp hour is the 176 amp hour cells. Okay?
Okay.
So each one of these things is a 3.2 volt, 176 amp hour brick.
Yes.
It's a lithium brick.
I hope you have your pencils out. I know our listeners are pencil and paper people.
You got to. Rewind it if you need to, folks. You get 16 of these bricks. You line them up in a pack. Positive to negative, positive to negative, positive to negative in series.
Yeah.
Not in each cell to cell.
This is not rocket science.
No.
Your 7th grade kid does this.
Yeah. Yeah. Lining up 9 volt batteries. It's idiot proof. If you can't figure it out, you're an idiot. Moving on.
You're probably not going to survive anyway.
Exactly. If you are an idiot and you don't get this,
You could hire an electrician for $80 an hour.
This is
and
important.
It'd be done in less than a week.
this is important. If you realize that you don't know what I'm talking about, you have no clue, it's fine. You can learn.
Yeah, all these
If-
things are learnable.
This goes back to what I said earlier. If you're currently an idiot and you choose to learn, you're no longer an idiot. Congratulations. Moving forward,
But yeah,
batteries. Get your batteries. Get a battery pack. For 4 of these cells, right now it's $760.
okay.
Okay, so let's get out the calculator here because I've had a glass of wine. And I'm not going to do this in my head.
760.
Times 4. This is going to cost you 3,040 Canadian poor bunk dollars.
Yeah.
$3,000 for a battery pack.
A huge battery pack.
This thing runs our house easily for almost 30 hours with no charge. So that's batteries. Batteries are the foundation of every off-grid system.
And it's the most expensive part.
It is the most expensive part.
And if you wanted to run for days and days and days and days without sun, like, I don't know, you're expecting like a nuclear winter or something.
Just add more.
Just add more. It's easy.
You want more, buy more.
Yeah.
Put them in parallel. If you don't know what that means, look it up.
It's pretty easy.
YouTube University, it's easy stuff.
Okay.
Moving on.
Have batteries.
If you want batteries, you can put on a BMS, a battery monitoring system, which links to your phone via Bluetooth. It's a little more complex to hook up, but it has really simple, like, grade 5 instructions.
Yeah. And they're not in, like,
No.
Chinese English, like they're in
No,
real.
they're really well done. They pay people to put this in actual English. It's a
rare.
Dally, D-A-L-Y. It's really the only brand that's available and doesn't look super sketchy. We have one. It works fine.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't have to do much. It just has to tell me what state my
so
batteries
then you
are.
know if one battery's
If
weird.
one cell's getting wonky.
Yeah.
Anyway, next, and probably the second most expensive part, is the inverter. There are many options out there, but what do you want? Now, I say inverter, but what I actually mean is inverter, charge controller, and generator transfer switch. All these things, electricians and these slick solar gear Gregs are going to charge you thousands for
They're gonna
individual
charge you for each
components
component.
and wire them individually. It's all garbage.
It all needs to
The
be
entire North American solar industry has been selling
so
garbage for decades.
Yeah.
All of it. Magnum, Outback, Schneider, it's all overpriced crap.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do, we're going to pick one that happens to be Prime, because we love Prime.
You can always
What is it,
send
$9 a month? And their customer service is phenomenal.
And it's a 30-day return, but you know what? A year later, if that thing's not working and you call them, they'll take it back.
Yeah. If it's once in a while, they take it
These
back.
things have warranty.
Exactly.
But it's easier just to do it through Amazon.
So, that's another reason, is the warranty. Renogy, okay? R-E-N-O-G-Y. They're based out of California. I've been to their office. They make, in particular, a 3,500 watt pure sine wave inverter / charger / MPPT charge controller. These are the phrases. Take notes.
And it's all in one.
It's all in one unit. All you do, literally, you plug your solar panels into the PV positive negative.
Yeah.
You plug your batteries into the battery positive negative.
It's like
And then you
hooking
plug
up an old desktop computer.
Yeah.
The things only fit in the right hole.
Exactly. And then you plug your AC in from your generator or your grid, if you want to use the grid to charge your batteries, and then AC out to your electrical panel. And that's it. And it does everything. It charges your batteries from the sun. If you fire your generator up or your grid, it'll take that AC electronically, it'll transfer the load, it handles everything.
Even if you don't technically have grid tie,
Yeah.
it will lower your bill.
It will lower your bill exponentially.
Yeah.
Now, this thing is not what they call a grid tie inverter. There are inverters, if you look up, if you're techie now, if you've moved beyond idiocy,
Yeah.
and you're techie, which we want everybody to be techie.
If you're investing this kind of money, you can afford to give it a couple of weeks of actual research.
Learn
can't
it.
You?
Learn it. If you're passionate about it, which we are, you can learn
If
it.
you're gonna buy a Boom Boom Freedom Stick, you're gonna learn about it first, aren't you?
You're damn right you
Just
are.
because that's fun doesn't mean that
No,
it's more.
you're going to
important.
figure this out. We're serious, people. So, this inverter / charger, hybrid inverter, we picked the Renogy because it's prime and it's the best price per watt. And Renogy, I know, is a real company.
They're quality.
They're
not going to go to business in
They're
6
brick and
months.
mortar.
Yeah.
And they're advancing. They're bringing out more products.
So this is a 3,500 watt.
Yeah. We have a 5,000 watt.
If you can find a 5,000 watt, that's better because then you don't have to worry about running multiple
bigger.
large
Yeah.
loads at the same time.
You want to go as big as you can. However, this 3,500 watt, this is a continuous wattage rating.
Oh, this is a peak.
No, this is continuous. This will run literally any appliance you put at it. A compressor, a dishwasher.
Yeah.
It'll run an electric heater if you want to do that.
If you want to run your air conditioner in the
Your
summer,
dryer, whatever you want.
you
Now,
got to make choices.
that said, I should say dryers are 240 volt.
Dryer is one
okay?
of those things
Now,
that
this is
you
a
should
big-
either just get a
Yeah.
propane one or do without.
I'm going to talk about this.
off-grid.
I'm going to talk about American wiring in a minute.
Okay.
But right now, we're going to finish this system. So we got batteries. We have a battery monitoring system. We
Okay.
have an inverter which takes power out of the battery and powers everything you need.
So this one in particular is $903.
$903. This replaces
to $1,200 if you wanted a way bigger
if
one.
you want, there's some 5,000 watt inverters. Some of them are prime. I think they go $1,200 or $1,300. But folks, this is replacing. I worked in the solar industry years ago. No, this replaces $10,000 to $15,000 worth of wholesale parts.
Yeah.
Not even retail. It's insane what these people charge.
It's easier and it's cheaper.
Yeah, it's criminal.
But
what
it's
these people
criminal
charge.
what the companies charge.
So what's our grand total? If we've done 3,000 plus, let's call it 1,000 for the inverter, so we're up to 4,000. And
the BMS.
The BMS is 200. It's 200. I know it's 200. So
we're at 4,000 and.
No, I got it. It's four. Let's call it $4,200, and this system runs a 3,000 square foot house with all of the appliances for easily 30 hours with no charge. 3,000 or 300. There was a day when I was like, "Oh, that thing costs us $0 extra. That guy's an idiot." It's predatory. You added 2 zeros.
I know that we all have to make a buck, but yes.
Dude, you're worse than the grocery chains.
Yeah.
You're a monster.
Talk about it later.
Get off the air. Prepper 2.0, please call us.
It was hard to listen to.
That was just the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life. It is. Their podcast is great.
With good guests.
Yeah.
And to listen to that as somebody who's done this for a very long time, it was insulting. It was disheartening.
Yeah.
It was really hard to listen to.
And Annie said it earlier. I really thought about this. I tend to get very introspective when I'm thinking about things like really important issues, and often I won't do enough. And you know what, hon? You were right. I wasn't going to do enough, which is how I was raised. Very spineless upbringing.
It's the Canadian
frankly,
way.
Yeah.
Keep your mouth shut. People will figure out who... No, they won't.
No, they won't. If Joe Rogan can promo UFC, which is all of that is useless... Even if it doesn't go south, how many times have we mathematically compared the bills?
Yeah.
What was it, like $150,000 worth of electrical bills or a $15,000 solar system?
So we're at $4,200, and now we're going to think about how we're going to charge this sucker.
How are we going to charge this sucker? Well, step one is solar panels.
Yeah.
You can get these things for much less than $1. But let's say $1 a watt. Okay?
You want to aim for $1 a watt. Getting them locally is cheaper.
You can almost get them for $1 a watt sometimes on Amazon, which is heavily marked up.
It's cheaper locally because they're expensive to ship.
Yeah. So moving forward, solar panels. We have a 5,000 watt solar array. Mm-hmm. It's 5.2, but whatever. It's a 5,000 watt solar array. I don't remember what I paid for it, but if you pay $1 a watt for it, anybody want to guess?
That's $5,000.
Oh, you got it right.
So now we're at $9,200.
Wait. Slick Solar Gear Greg's going to say, hey, this is too complex for the normal people to understand.
I feel like they can't add 5,000.
No, I feel like they can't.
So we went 4,200 plus 5,000.
We are at $9,200.
A way to connect the solar panels to the inverter.
These are called MC4. Well, it's super insulated UV protected RW90 with. I'm gonna get a little technical.
No, we're not. No.
I am. These cables are copper conductors with a rubber insulator. Otherwise referred to in the electrical industry as RW90. However, the copper conductors have been tinned. Okay, so they're actually really hard to bend, and tin is added to prevent corrosion inside, just in case anything gets in.
So what are we getting here? Then,
geeking out here, the rubber is coated with a UV coating, which once again makes it physically hard to bend.
But that makes sense.
But you can put it in.
Outside.
You're putting these things in direct sunlight. Now you can run conduit, whatever.
That's the place you have.
These cables are referred to as MC4 cables, when in fact the MC4 is the designation given to the special connectors on the ends.
Oh.
You knew that.
I did know that.
So, MC4 cables. Look them up. That's what you need.
There's different
I know I just said a lot of really fancy words.
The ones that are on our off-grid gear page are the 40-foot ones. You just need to get the ones that are long enough to make it to wherever you need to put your panels.
That's right. These things cost $75 for a 2-pack. That is a positive and negative set of MC4 cables. Now, if you've got a 5 kilowatt solar array. That means you have 18 panels.
Okay.
That means you have 6 groups of 3 panels lined up.
Sure.
Now, this is a little technical. You got to know your voltages. You got to know how to wire series parallel.
Yeah.
But it's not rocket
It's
science.
not hard.
Once again, please message me.
Yeah.
I will
We
help you do this.
Send us a video.
So,
We will video chat with you
Exactly.
and tell you how to hook this up.
let's go clear that on your calculator.
Okay.
And I'm going to go 74 times 6. 442. Add that to $9,200, which is $9,644. You need 6 sets of these cables. We're going to throw on another $100 here.
4.
Extension cables. Just because of the physical length of the solar array.
Where do you get extension cables? Oh, like you're saying if your array is really long.
Yeah. You buy these same cables, they hook into each other.
Maybe you just have to buy more.
You might just have to buy
Depends.
more. So let's call this $9,744 if you're trying to wire with UL listed. This stuff is like approved by agencies. So whatever somebody says about inspections, they can go shove their own you know what up their own you know what. This is all listed by engineers, professionals.
Then you need the fancy pants crimping tool if you're gonna be.
You do.
You don't need it.
No, actually, you
it's-
don't. We're gonna pause that.
We're gonna
Yeah, we're gonna add it. It's a
It's
$50
$50.
tool. It's an MC4 crimping tool.
It's also on the off-grid gear page, right at the top.
So we're just a shade under. We're at $9,794.
Then we
Final thing, you're gonna need what's called a combiner box. EcoWorthy, which is a fantastic company. They are a Chinese company, but they have tons of stock in North America. They sell a 4-string. Now, in this case, we have 6 strings, so you're going to need 2 of these. So add another $170 there.
Okay.
We have a 4-string PV combiner box, which you can put these things in parallel. Once again, a German electrician will run you about $80 an hour
Yeah.
for a good one.
If it's less than that, he's probably no good.
If it's less than that, he's no good. If
it's more
he
than that,
shows up and you've got all this gear and he
It's
says,
because you said the word solar,
Yeah.
and he saw.
and
the
he
dollar signs.
licked his chops and drooled.
It's like when
fire
you say
his
the word
butt.
wedding,
Yeah.
and suddenly everything becomes 10 times as expensive.
Yeah. So use your discretion, people. There are professionals out there. They're almost always younger. Find yourself a young journeyman electrician.
Yeah.
He'll be happy to make the $400 or $500 for the day
Yeah.
to hook everything up for you, and maybe even pull a permit.
But you could probably just pull a homeowner's permit and have him check it over.
Or wait, you're off grid in a cabin, so none of this matters.
Doesn't matter.
Moving forward, you've got your 2 combiner boxes. We are at $10,134. What else do we need? What else do we got here? I got some
You could
tools.
add like a
Ooh.
Bluetooth.
Ooh, the
thing.
Renogy Bluetooth. It's a thing that hooks into the inverter. It is $32. Throw in another $32.
We're gonna get fancy.
We're getting fancy here, folks. Fancy.
$10,100.
$1,166. Oh my God! I can't even buy a used Toyota for that.
Yeah.
Prepping 2.0. Please listen to this.
Yeah.
Heed our words. This world is broken.
Just take
If
down that
you're
episode and try
no,
again.
here's the no.
This
Don't
is
take it down.
sad.
Throw this up. Bring us on.
Yeah.
You know why you're prepping? Because you know the world's broken.
And you're not going to spend a ridiculous amount on a grid-tied system
No.
that isn't going to power your fridges
No.
and your freezers and everything else you need to do.
Babe, what was our final number there? Bring that up. That was
$10,166.
was that yen? Was that pesos?
No, that was in Canadian.
Canadian.
Let's convert
Canadian
that.
dollar. Ooh, convert it.
Convert.
Convert
10,001.
$66 Canadian to US dollars. Ladies and gentlemen, this is $7,797 US. You know what? I don't know
That's
personally.
criminal.
We have a lot of online friends.
Yeah.
I don't personally know a lot of preppers because we're a small community. But right now, I would like to say let's knit it up.
Yeah.
Let's stick together.
And kick out the
Kick out these
chaff.
horrible people.
Yeah, they're just
It's
taking
chaff.
advantage.
It is. Chaff, which poisons us. Get out of here.
And on
Solar
that
Gear
note,
Greg.
I have one more. We have to hit it because it was a question.
Of course we're going to hit questions. This is awesome.
Someone wanted an easy to understand review of EMP or CME protection for your solar system.
Okay.
It's a 4-step program.
Do you want to pull up the EMP website there? Because we're going to give you a link. It's right there. It's super easy.
It's EMP Shield, but it's not just EMP Shield. EMP Shield, frankly, is the last step. because it's the most expensive step. Right? So
Oh, I
about
see.
a 4-part system for protecting your solar gear.
Okay.
And EMP shield. It's the
Right.
final and
It is.
probably the least important part
Yeah.
of the puzzle. It's important because you're talking about expensive gear.
Yeah.
But number one,
Ferrites on all the panel wires. These are little iron clips you put on, and
Super cheap.
it dissipates the magnetic flux
yeah,
field.
so they can't go really
Yeah.
high or really low
Yeah, because
very quickly.
when electricity, high voltage electricity from an EMP pulse travels on a wire, it like builds a magnetic field. Okay, like you've seen in a J.J. Abrams movie.
Sure.
But when you put ferrites on there, it immediately dissipates the magnetic field. It completely. And these
cheap,
things,
it's easy.
Yeah.
This is all recommended.
you could collect iron filings from grinding a metal and
could.
tape them to your wires. That's what this is.
Ferrites are cheap.
Yeah.
You know what?
So anyway,
Number two,
grid tied system.
you're gonna store extra microinverters for every one of your panels,
If this is what you have.
and this is super
Okay.
cheap as well.
Number 3.
You need to have backups of all your inside gear,
Yeah.
like all the gear that's inside your electrical room. Even if it's not the same size backup, like even if it's not the same
Yeah.
size as what you have.
Relays. Breaker panel maybe. They're pretty dumb. Definitely the inverter / charge controller.
And it's nice to have a backup, and maybe you put it in your cabin, or
Yeah.
maybe you keep it in,
Yeah.
somewhere safe. Number 4,
Put an EMP shield on your inverter.
easy.
It's easy. It's
And
like
compared to
$500
the price of your
tops.
system, if you go to empshield.com and use the code OGPF, you get $50 off.
That's right.
But don't do that before you've at least got ferrites on your panel wires.
Well, I'm going to step in here, and I know we don't sell stuff, but EMP Shield is a sponsor. So I'm going to say, first get EMP Shield. Whatever. You folks have listened to all this. Just do it all.
Just do it all. It doesn't.
That's
take
how you
that
protect
much,
it.
And you're not going to do it later. You
Ooh,
might as well
ooh,
do
no,
it.
no. Go back to that last one. How much gear are we talking about protecting here?
$10,166.
Pesos?
Canadian.
And how much is that in US?
Canadian.
How much is that in US? Can I get?
Don't remember.
It's right there. It's right there. It's
$7,797.51.
not even $8,000.
What if you're a total princess and you want to have 8 freezers and 4 fridges and a freeze dryer and an electric dryer? Then you just get double of everything.
Double it. Quadruple
And
it.
then you've spent $16,000.
Or $32,000. Do you have any idea how much of this you'd have to buy to get to $250,000?
You'd have to.
I can't. It's insane. It's
It would
insane.
never.
And
I
I'm
couldn't spend
glad.
that much on solar. If I won the lottery and I tried to take my bunker.
I'm so glad that you got me to do this tonight, hun, because I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna take the high road.
Just let sleeping
Screw
dogs
that.
fly. No.
Prepping 2.0. People, pass this on to them. Get us connected with Prepping 2.0. I know we're
tried.
new. No, I know we tried, but we're going to try again. Listeners, please share this. Get us out there, because there are so many people still encountering garbage like
I don't want to
this.
use the word misinformation, but that was really hard to listen to.
It was misinformation
Yeah.
for the purposes of profit, which
Yeah,
is even
that's
worse.
Even worse.
It's even worse. Well, all misinformation is only for profit. That's why it's so bad.
But that was personal profit, and
That
that's hard to listen
and you know what? That was a personal thing for us.
It was.
We have struggled so much to make this work
on a budget.
on a
with
budget.
Still being comfortable
Yeah.
and not sacrificing creature comforts.
Yeah.
And to have someone say that it's not possible or to call us a liar,
On the most prominent podcast in
that's
our genre.
insulting, and it makes
So-
me sad.
Please, our close listeners, we
We know we have the small knit group
no,
of
but
super
we love
fans.
having you around. We love your responses. We try
Yeah.
to answer all your questions. Folks, do us a favor.
Yeah.
Get us connected to Prepping 2.0 and get us out there so we can help dispel this garbage.
Yeah. Because the more people who know the truth, the fewer people who are going to come knocking on
Yeah,
your
it's
door
harder
when
for
they're out
people
of
to
power.
lie. That's right.
Do you have a quote for us today?
So, caveat emptor. Let a purchaser beware, for he ought not to be ignorant of the nature of the property which he is buying from another party.
It's a good one. It's very fitting.
Latin.
If you thought this was helpful, could you please share it on social media? We can always tell when you do, and you can tell we were a little fired up for this one, so we would definitely appreciate it.
We're not going to be fired up next time because this is the pinnacle of everything we've been talking about here.
This isn't really the way we roll.
No,
but it was hard to keep your mouth shut when you're being called a liar and insulted.
I was literally vomiting from anger. No, actually, I didn't know about this, but
good night, everyone. Listen to podcasts.
I do not. Good night, everyone.
Bye.